What's up, bro? Today is Tuesday. It is one of the last days that I want to use of this entire series in which I talk about strategy. And obviously, when I started this series, the entire reason behind it was predominantly going to be documenting myself actually taking action. But it doesn't make sense for me to take action if I'm keeping not only you in the dark about what it is that I'm actually taking action on, but then also I need to understand a little bit the strategy that actually goes behind what I'm trying to do. And I did mention that I'm trying to make a brand on Instagram which is focused solely on my business and is going to be converting people for my business, which is my content agency, which is, if you don't know, just a business that takes care of done for you content as a service for someone else, meaning we come up with the ideas, we script content for other people, we help them through the recording process, and then we also edit that content and then post it for that person or that business owner. And so mainly the things that I want to be talking about today, really briefly, I just literally just took my thoughts and I journaled them out on a page, because this is not something that I took a lot of time to prepare. Other than that, today I've just been doing a whole lot of editing and just boring stuff. But definitely tomorrow I'm going to just actually record myself going through the motions of what I do in my day. And it's getting a little bit interesting because I'm having some funny conversations with my friends, and I might even record some of that. But basically, the three things that I want to talk about is I briefly just want to be going over video types, the structure behind my entire brand in terms of the overall pillars and things I want to talk about on my Instagram, and then also the components that I think define a high quality video. And that one specifically is an antidote out to all the gurus in the grow your Instagram niche or the content agency niche that makes such a huge monster out of social media as if it's something so difficult to grow, even though the components that actually make a high quality video is it's just such simple things that you can just keep top of mind that are so intuitively understandable. Like a child would acknowledge their validity if a child saw this or heard about these concepts. But obviously, people need to be reminded more than they need to be taught, which is Alex Hormozi's quote, which is 100% true. So keeping these things top of mind while you are writing a script or you are making content or even analyzing content, if you're someone that likes to consume a lot of content, which I know I sure am, is most definitely just going to overall help you in your life and all the social interactions you have. So I definitely think it's something very important to do to make yourself a more engaging and interactive person just in general. And I don't think I'm the most engaging or interactive person, but definitely, I'm saying it helps. So first thing I want to go over is the video types. So I did mention I want to be posting 3 times a day over on my Instagram, my business focused Instagram. And so mainly the types of contents that I'm going to be posting are talking head videos, which is kind of like this, but this is more so a cameo type of thing where I just turn on the camera and talk. But talking head videos that I want to do for that page is going to be scripted videos, in which I have a certain concept of either theory, or maybe the video is more so top of funnel, meaning it's focused on getting people's attention. And basically I script a video and I just talk about it in front of a desk. Then the next thing is a Miro video, in which there's a Miro board or a graphic on the screen that I can interact with by moving my mouse around as I explain whatever it is. And that type of content is more so middle of funnel, or it explains some sort of strategy to the people that want strategy. And then the last type of content type that I most definitely do not want to make is cameo videos. And this is I literally what I'm doing right now. But just if I miss the KPI of the 3 videos that I want to be posting every day, that is the only context in which I will actually use that cameo video or record one, just in case I'm about to miss it. And I know 3 videos a day is kind of just completely random, and you don't need to do that in order to be successful, but it's just something that I said I was going to do. So I definitely just want to be true to my word and true to my the thing that I envisioned, and just actually end up doing it. And then the next thing I want to move on to, so that's the video types I'm going to make, predominantly Miro videos and talking head videos. The next thing I want to move on to is the components of a high quality video. Now, if you are lucky enough to be here, you are the luckiest person on planet Earth, because everything I'm about to tell you, somewhere in your brain already know. And that's what makes it so beautiful, because everything I'm about to tell you that defines a high quality video will, if you actually keep this top of mind, meaning you remember this when you're making content, like it will literally change your life. And I know it did for me, it will for you too. So the first point that I just jotted down from my brain was you want to be making the content concise and simple in terms of language. Here's exactly what I mean by that. The average American adult reads at a 7th to 8th grade level. That's all I need to say. Just make your content simple so other people can understand you. That's it. That's the lesson. Like, you already knew that. Like, it's common sense. The next thing, when you are addressing a large group of people, meaning you're speaking to a camera, let's say, oftentimes a lot of people see that video. But when you make your scripts or you just speak to a camera in general, the only way you can single someone out is by using the word you or your instead of the or some other pronoun, or saying you guys because I'm talking to multiple people on the camera. But just saying you and acting as if you're talking to one person, especially when you're talking about an experience that these people have went through, meaning they can resonate with it. Once you use you and actually treat them like a person, it does things, you know, like that's how parasocial relationships are built with people. And so just use you because that allows you to single other people out. And I think I need to practice that a little bit more too, because if I did that with you, then I would be a lot more interactive with my content and have a lot of people that actually resonate with it. The next thing, focus on your audience's pain points. So I know the pain points of my audience very well, or at least not your audience, but your ideal clients that you actually want to close. So I know with the content agency I run, people have difficulty with not having enough time to produce content in whatever consistent amount or goal that they have, or maybe they lack the expertise or the results from that content, meaning they're not getting the views or engagement or traffic and closed converted clients from it. Or maybe they're just spending too much time doing manual outreach, or maybe they have difficulty establishing themselves as overall authority or credibility. And those are like the main pain points that people go through for my industry or my niche or for my business. And you just gotta know that. Like, this is not something that, like, I literally just, I didn't rehearse this. I just know that off the top of my mind, right? You just gotta know that. And then the next thing is to have a strong hook. Now, this is common sense, which the hook is the first line you say. Everyone gives this advice, just have a strong hook, right? The overall thing that you want to make sure you do is just catch people's attention. And if you have an editor, then use a visual hook, which basically means that there's an image and then there is a spoken hook, meaning you speak something out. And then there's a caption hook, and the caption hook is like some text above the screen that like kind of describes the video. And then the image also, to provide more context, would be something that describes what it is that you're saying. That whole breakdown is particularly the reason why Miro videos are so strong. Now, Miro videos specifically, which I mentioned previously, do this thing in which they show someone's face, because this half the screen is split screened on someone's face. Then the rest of the screen is the graphic or whatever it is that they're explaining. And then the middle of the screen is the captions. So when you have those three aspects, meaning you have the graphic or the image to look at, you have the captions to look at, and you have the person's face to look at. And there's actually a fourth thing as well, which is the music that's playing, which is so brilliant because the music that's playing is going to, and you can notice this, it's so brilliant. At the very end is where the beat drops. So as the video goes on, it keeps people's like, it basically edges people because it rises, like it makes them expect something. It makes them expect a greater reward at the end. And so it makes them think, oh, I'm going to get that reward. I'm going to get that reward. And then they just keep watching it. And then the beat drops at the end. And that psychological music also adds like more engagement to the video and basically keeps people locked in. So understanding like just how people's senses like overall interact with the video, like it's so brilliant. Like whoever came up with this stuff, like it's actually so beautiful. The next thing, make the videos narrow and not broad. This means narrow them down until you're focusing on one specific small part of a larger topic. An example of this would be, instead of talking about how to post content on social media, I can give one social media tip that helps increase conversion specifically. Now, this one is going to be the main thing you want to keep in mind when you're writing your script, because if you forget this, it will completely ruin your day. And the reason behind that is because you only have 60 seconds when you're recording short form content. So larger problems, even though it might sound as if you're able to give more value, and an example of a larger problem would be, let's say, how to post content on social media. That's such a large problem. How to post content on social media is a humongous thing. But if you just talk about one specific aspect of social media, such as converting clients through social media, and then you talk about one aspect of converting clients through social media, such as the common myth associated with it, then if you just focus on one thing, not only is it going to be simple and memorable for the viewer to understand, not only is it going to be easier for you to write that script because you're only going to be focused on one thing, but it's also going to be something that just completely removes the weight of ever wanting to have more content ideas, because you're always going to have things to talk about. Because when you acknowledge that there's so many things you can talk about, and yet you distill it and narrow it down into one small aspect of the grander image, then you will always understand how many truly beautiful content ideas there are out there. And so that's definitely one thing that you need to keep in mind. Make your videos narrow and not broad. Meaning focus on one thing, not many things, because you don't have time when you're making a short form video. Long form video, different story, but it's not that. The next thing, make the video inclusive to all parties by never niching down. So now don't get this confused with narrowing down, but don't ever niche down to specific people within your niche. In other words, I make videos that everyone in the world can watch, but only my ideal clients can actually take action on it. And the way they do that is by the way I do that is by using broad hooks in the start, and then I funnel the video down as it goes. So basically, here's what I mean. Instead of saying in your hook of your video that, let's say you're a fitness coach for like dads above 30, instead of saying, here are the best possible leg exercises for dads above 30, you can say like the barbell squat is the best leg exercise if you're trying to grow some juicy quads or something. I don't know. Like basically, if you notice the difference, the second one applies to all people, because all people that go to the gym, which is a very large amount of people, actually do squats. And so basically in the first video, the difference is that you exclude everybody that is not a dad above 30, which is a lot of people. But then in the second video, you actually acknowledge the fact that dads above 30 are going to watch your video regardless of whether or not you specifically call them out. And therefore, when you have a lot of people watching your videos, it does two things for you. One, it makes sure that more people watch your video, which is going to give you more authority and credibility, because you're going to get more likes, views, all that good stuff. And it also increases the amount of ideal clients that you eventually end up reaching. And the reason behind that is because all the engagement and the views and the followers that you get compound into allowing your videos to reach more people, which overall has a higher likelihood of attracting more of the people that you're looking for, which are included within the context of the video that you're talking about. All right, now the last thing that defines a high quality video is a contextual loop. Now, what a contextual loop is it is a certain context that when opened, our mind is very, very eager to close it. And an example of this is that when you watch a show and it's like a drama show or something, and things are happening in that show, your mind in your subconscious, or most of the time consciously even, really wants to know how the show is going to end. And you go through so many different patterns trying to determine how it's going to end. Similarly, when we speak or give speeches and even record videos, we open loops in people's minds. And one way that this is commonly done is by withholding information and making it seem as if you, the creator, know something that your viewers don't know. And an example of this is, I recently saw a video of this guy. He said, this one missing piece in my content allowed me to make hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I know that you are, no matter how good your content is, you're likely ignoring this. And this one missing piece is, and then boom, he drops it. But once he gives us what we want, he makes it a super complex word. And then again, we're chasing and we're going to keep watching the video to figure out and understand him break down that super, super complex word. And that's going to drive us to actually watch the video longer. So that's contextual loop. Definitely keep it in mind. The last thing is the video idea structuring, which is, I kind of just wrote out the overall pillars. And I don't even think it's worth it to go through that because the main reason why is because of the components of a high quality video, in which I mentioned that you should just primarily be talking about your ideal client's pain points and then framing them in a broad manner that allows everybody to be able to watch those videos. And so, because I already listed off the pain points that my clients deal with, you already know what my pillars are going to be based around, those exact pain points. That's all I'm going to be making content about for those specific people so that I can attract them. And then hopefully that will bring me closer to my goals. Today was a long day, did a lot of work. And I hope that you on the other end are also getting after your journey and going hard on whatever it is that you want to do and accomplish. Last day, I'm going to be talking about strategy. So, like, you know, we ain't going to have this much after this. So, yeah, peace.